Shalom. Call halal Yahweh by Shem Shai by Shem Rakar. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders. Salutations to all my fellow laborers doing this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so, now more so than ever. To the scattered elect that are scattered around the four corners of the earth, to be like unto the speckled bird, the Israelite foreigners, and to the Akwath that are listening and learning, to you, I say Shalom. This is your brother Malcolm from the branch of the Great Millstone here in Chicago, coming up to another lesson in truth. And first I'm going to read this definition of propaganda, all right, and propagandist. And I'm going to start with propagandist. It says, the consistently spreads a certain doctrine, principles, or like as advocacy of war, prohibition, or birth control. Propaganda, any organization or method for spreading a certain opinion or belief. The opinion or belief thus spread. Propagandist again. One who consistently spreads certain doctrines, principles, or the like as advocacy of war, prohibition, or birth control.
A warning Friday from the U.S. Department of Homeland Security that violent extremists could try and use the reimposition of COVID-19 related restrictions as a reason to conduct attacks. The department said that COVID-19 related stress has, quote, contributed to increased societal strains and tensions.
And see, they told on themselves right there, because they're stressing the people out. When people have lost their jobs, their way of life, their restaurants, their businesses, their way to support their families. This is an expected result. So they can predict this because they're pushing the people to that. Meanwhile, gun sales went up the whole time that Barack Obama was in, and it continued with Joe Biden. So you got a heavily armed society, ironclad military that can put them down no matter how heavily they armed, although they probably will do some damage before they are put down. And then you take a stick and you poke the hornet's nest or the beehive. All right? So this is all planned. Let me grab another quick scripture. There's so many popped in my head, but I go to this one. This is Daniel 8:25. Because he's going to give this long diplomatic democracy explanation on how to handle this. But, I always give the analogy of the brave man running into the building to save, to rescue the woman from the burning building. And now she's all starry-eyed and loving on her hero, her rescuer, not knowing that he's the one that started the fire. This is Daniel 8:25. Through his policy, also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand. He shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace shall destroy many. He shall also stand up against the prince of princes, but shall be broken without hand. So, and I can't wait for that day. The Lord's going to smash and break down the dragon, knock the teeth out of the dragon, man. But let's let it continue.
Driving several plots by domestic violent extremists, and they may contribute to more violence this year. In an interview with CNN, DHS Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas said his department sees domestic violent extremists as, quote, the greatest terrorist-related threat to our homeland, fueled by false narratives and ideologies of hate.
Interesting. Now, it's kind of like this. If you put guns and drugs into certain areas and neighborhoods, which happens here in America by the way. All right. And then you strategically place surveillance there. Not only are you the predicted result is that the drug related situations, you're gonna get a lot of bodies from fights over territory between two different factions. Secondly, you're going to get elimination of your quote unquote enemy. Thirdly, you're going to get plenty of court cases and plenty of bodies into the prison industrial system. So they win everywhere around because a lot of these people have money vested. And you go, because if you're a cop, the smart thing to do is to invest in the prison system, not to jump off subject. And if I invest into the prison system and I plant stuff on you and send you to jail, it just ensures that my investment is going to pay me nice cushy retirement. This is how these people operate. That was a hypothetical but very realistic and often in some cases true scenario that I just gave. Continue.
The bulletin also warned of the increased risk of, quote, targeted violence as the U.S. prepares to mark the 20th anniversary of the September 11th attacks and around upcoming religious holidays. The latest DHS bulletin also noted that Al-Qaeda's Arabian Peninsula branch had recently released the first English language version of its Inspire magazine in 4 years, which DHS says is evidence that violent foreign militants are still trying to inspire U.S. followers to engage in attacks.
Wow.
It also warned that media outlets linked to the Russian, Chinese, and Iranian governments had, quote,
Russian, Iranian, and Chinese spreading lies about the damages that what you see on the screen is doing. Things that make you go,
repeatedly amplified conspiracy theories about the origins of COVID-19 and the effectiveness of vaccines.
All right.
A warning Friday from the U.S.
This is Sirach 12:10. Never trust thine enemy. Like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him. And thou shalt be as if unto him as if thou hast wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust have not altogether been wiped away. Call halal Yahweh Bashem Abishai, Bashem Rakak Badash, Wa Ababa Wal, Kwam Yasharala.